Warning. The following video contains strong language that some viewers may find offensive or disturbing.
What's way more dangerous than most people think? Walking downstairs with your hands in your pockets. Never ever do it. Especially not drunk. A fall down even 1 or 2 stairs with no hands to catch you can break your neck. I've seen a video of a man tripping and falling down 4 stairs. Hitting the top of his head on the wall and dying right there in the stairwell. I was walking across the street with my hands in my pockets and I tripped and hit my face on the curb. My face was pretty jacked up and my teeth got really messed up, and now I will never walk with my hands in my pockets no matter how cold they are. Water currents. Rip tides in the ocean and eddy currents in streams. We have some river canyons with signs describing all of the ways you can die in the river, and people still die swimming there. Anything under tension can be dangerous. Guitar strings hold around 200 pounds of tension. A game of tug-of-war can put thousands of pounds of tension into a rope. It's even been known to kill people. Here's a list: https://Priceonomics.com, a history of tug-of-war fatalities. True story: as a 14-year-old I played a game of tug-of-war with a large number of people and the rope snapped and whipped back and hit me, leaving me with 3 fractures in my hands. 3 surgeries and lots of PT later. I'm happy to report no nerve damage, but I'm never playing that game again. Mold. It can be poisonous, make you hallucinate, and eating it can seriously mess with your body. Palm trees. They are so much heavier than they look, and their branches can kinda just fall off without warning. See here. Beware a eucalypt on a hot day in the middle of a drought. Eucalypts shed branches when stressed. Usually it's small clusters, but sometimes you'll jump 6 feet to hear a massive crash outside and see a huge motherfucker on the lawn. The amount of times we've almost had one land on our car. Hiking in Arizona heat. Grand Canyon too. You can go down a lot quicker than up. We hiked R2R in the Grand Canyon about 10 years ago, North Kaibab to Bright Angel. We were stopping to rest at Cottonwood Campground. The next water station was broken and 2 R2R hikers coming the opposite way had to be given saline intravenously at the medic hut. There was no posting about the water being out. Thankful with the knowledge that our next planned water source was gone, we were able to load up extra before heading out after our rest. I drank 9 liters of water that day and only peed once. ETA, wow, this blew up. I'll try to respond to all questions. As a disclaimer, please do not attempt R2R unless you're a seriously experienced hiker. My husband and I have years of backcountry hiking experience and ultralight gear, and it's still in our top 3 toughest hikes we've done. A kind of random one. But don't eat uncooked slugs or snails. They can have parasites that will make you paralyzed and eventually kill you. An Australian kid died a couple of years ago from it. An awful way to go. Not getting regular checkups. I almost died because I had an internal hemorrhage that was slowly killing me. I was so depleted of iron and blood that the nurses thought my vitals were written in wrong because I should have been dead. I needed 3 pints of blood in one sitting. Towing a stuck car with a chain. There is a list of people who have died from having the chain come through the back window and kill them. If there's one thing I'll always stress, it's a real tow rope. Endless uses. Not that expensive. You'll probably only ever need to buy one. They won't smash your skull in if they break. Blocking your nose when you sneeze. Though it's rare, you can damage blood vessels in your eyes and nose. You can rupture your eardrum. And you can even have an aneurysm. Being knocked unconscious. Lots of popular media makes it seem like a minor thing that an average person can shrug off after a short period. In reality, if you are ever knocked out, then you have suffered brain damage. It's possible there might not be any lasting effects, but it's a serious injury and you 100% need to see a doctor if it ever happens to you. Driving tired, sleepy. This is a good one. I almost got plowed to death by an SUV once because a lady fell asleep while driving with her 2 small children. Took out a sign, and came at me on the sidewalk. I had to action dodge behind a tree. She and the kids were all okay. Just really shaken up. And I called them an ambulance and hung out until paramedics came to check on everyone. I was pretty shaken up about it myself. Really? You don't expect that. Especially in the middle of the day. Don't drive tired, kids. People know that rip currents are dangerous. But don't think about them as a real threat often enough. I'm from Florida. My whole entire life I was taught to swim parallel to shore when stuck in a rip current. They teach it in schools. There are commercials about it. The signs say it. You'd think it would be ingrained. But what does my grown ass do the first time I got sucked into a rip current? Panicked my ass off and almost drowned. I got stuck in one as a kid and I never knew about the parallel swimming. I was alone while it took me. But somehow I instinctively knew I had to swim that way to get out. I ended up around 1 mile where I was. Shit is scary as fuck. Deep cuts on your fingertips. They're called felons and can infect your bloodstream. Clean them out, and if you see a red line traveling up your arm, get yourself to the ER immediately. My neighbor almost died from this when she cut her finger on her violin string. Edit, removed my advice about changing tires. My main point was don't go under your car if the tire's off without a jack stand. But that should be obvious. My old roommate got a cut on his finger from a broken glass in a sanitation sink, bartender, and was complaining that it was sore and swollen. I had heard about the if you see a line going up your arm, you need to get to a hospital thing and asked to see his arm. Sure enough, he had a red line almost to his elbow. He got to the ER and caught it in time. Sitting in your car when it's broken down on the side of the road. Put your hazards on people. My great-grandfather was driving down a road and saw a woman with a flat tire. Decided to help her out. Parked his car in front of hers and was grabbing his tire iron out of his trunk. Somebody didn't see her car, didn't have her hazards on, and slammed into the back of her car. Her car flew forward and hit great-grandpa's car, pinning him in between. He survived, but lost both legs above the knee. So yeah, use your damn hazard lights. Electricity. People seem to have little understanding or respect for it. If you touch an AM radio tower you will die and there is nothing that can save you. Also it will be the most painful thing you ever experience past, present, or future. Don't be a dum-dum. Driving. Like you see the statistics of car crash deaths, but I don't think you ever truly realize how dangerous it is to simply drive somewhere since it is such a routine thing. Eating a lot of spinach. Believe it or not, people have had kidney failure from 3 spinach smoothies in a day. This is due to the high levels of oxalic acid. Mosquitoes. My friend slipped in the bathroom whilst trying to catch a mosquito and hit his head hard on corner of the sink. Spent 2 weeks in a coma after that. Not wearing sunblock. Even when it's cloudy, you can still burn. Furthermore, one should always wear a hat, i.e. a wide brim one with a neck protector. The ocean. Both for swimming, surfing, etc. and for boating. It is 100% not just a big swimming pool or lake. Human beings are in a completely alien environment as soon as they step off the sand or dock. And our perceptions about how things ought to play out no longer matter. The ocean is completely indifferent to human reasoning and even to human mortality. I'm teaching a good friend to sail right now. And he's naively ambitious as far as sailing long distances in a very small boat. I wasn't joking at all when I chided him by saying, "You haven't been scared enough times yet." The reason I'm so conservative in and around the ocean is because I've developed a healthy, totally reasonable fear of it over the course of my life. Anybody who isn't a little afraid of the ocean hasn't spent enough time around it. Source: Tug Captain. Lifelong surfer, and lifelong recreational sailor. Please. If you're going out on a boat, make sure you at least have a first aid kit, a fire extinguisher, a working knowledge of how to call for help on a VHF radio, an anchor to stop you from drifting into rocks if the engine fails, and PFDs for everyone. Situations you've never even imagined can arise so quickly on even a short outing. Closing parenthesis. Grew up on the beach. Surfer of over a decade, still not a lot of time. And this is so accurate. Things in the ocean can go so bad so fast. I've had my fiberglass board hit me over the head. Been caught in the wave breaks and nearly drowned. Fell into jellyfish patches. And have been caught in more riptides than I can count. I'm lucky to have had the knowledge and experience to deal with those situations. But the tourists that rent boards always make me incredibly anxious and have the potential to be deadly. A good rule of thumb is that if you're not a strong swimmer, do not go past your knees in the ocean. A lot of household chemicals. Mix the wrong stuff and it's game over or seriously hurt. Ammonia and bleach is a common one, I think. I used far too much ammonia last time I was cleaning and I thought I was going to pass out. Not taking antibiotics to kill a sinus infection. Kinda seems obvious, but 13Y oh me didn't think so, and that's how I ended up almost dead. Yepper, I was probably around the same age. Just got over being sick, so I didn't think much of feeling kind of tired and junky. I was in computer class when I started to get audio hallucinations and feeling really lightheaded. Stood up to tell the teacher and collapsed. Any ignored, unknown infection is dangerous, but sinus infections are on another level. Living alone. If you get seriously injured or ill at home and you're unable to reach a phone, your chances of survival are much lower than if you have at least one other person in the household. Had an older employee who lived with her son. She didn't turn up for work. Very common to no show, no call at our workplace. Just not for her. I had a weird feeling after she wasn't picking up when I called. Waited a few hours and decided to go knock on her door. No answer, but her car was there. I phoned the non-emergency police line and they showed up and broke in. She was found in her bedroom on the floor, completely out of it, and turns out she had a very bad case of meningitis. She was admitted to the hospital for a month and they told her if she had been found by her son by the time he returned home from work, 4 hours after we found her, she most likely would have been dead. Trust your weird gut feelings. Thanks for watching. If you liked the video, give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe, and hit the notification button. See you next time.